Section 1. High Altitude Humiliation, the Road to Nowhere Special. So, Ladakh, everyone talks about it. Spiritual, majestic, life-changing. They usually forget to mention the part where your lungs feel like two deflated party balloons. And the roads. Oh, the roads. They call them roads. I've seen goat paths with better engineering. This journey wasn't a gentle glide into serenity. It was a bone-jarring, teeth-rattling, prayer-inducing tumble into the unknown. Or perhaps, the well-known, if you're a fan of near-death experiences. The driver, bless his cotton socks, seemed to think guardrails were merely suggestions. Optional extras, like air conditioning, which, by the way, was also missing. Along with any discernible suspension in our ancient wheezing Jeep, they promise you breathtaking views. And yes, the views are breathtaking, literally. The altitude sickness kicks in with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Your head pounds a rhythm that syncs perfectly with the vehicle's violent lurches. Every hairpin turn reveals another vista of terrifying beauty. Jagged peaks claw at a sky so blue it hurts your eyes. Barren landscapes stretch into infinity, making you feel incredibly small and profoundly stupid for choosing this adventure. You're gasping for air that isn't there, wondering if enlightenment comes with an oxygen mask. Probably not. That would be too convenient for us mere mortals seeking a quick spiritual fix. The marketing brochures paint a picture of tranquil contemplation. They show smiling tourists, artfully draped in pashminas, gazing wistfully at snow-capped mountains. They don't show the reality, the grit in your teeth, the dust coating every surface, including the inside of your nostrils. Section 2. Behold, the not-so-secret monastery. After what felt like an eternity of internal organ rearrangement, we finally arrived. Or more accurately, we were deposited at the foot of yet another impossibly steep climb. The hidden monastery. Hidden, right, hidden like a giant brightly colored wedding cake perched precariously on a mountainside. You could probably see this thing from space. Perhaps strategically inconvenient would be a more accurate descriptor. It clung to the cliff face, a defiant splash of crimson and gold against the stark monochrome rock. Majestic, sure, if you're into architecture that laughs in the face of gravity and common sense. It looked like one strong gust of wind could send the whole affair tumbling into the abyss. The air here was thinner than a supermodel's patience. Every step was a monumental effort. My lungs burned, my legs screamed in protest. The monks, however, seemed to glide up and down these treacherous paths like mountain goats on a leisurely stroll. They probably had an extra lung, or maybe they just made peace with the whole oxygen deprivation thing. The monastery itself was a labyrinth of narrow passageways, creaking wooden balconies, and prayer wheels spinning endlessly. The smell of burning juniper incense, yak butter, and something vaguely ancient filled the air. It was a sensory overload, a collision of the sacred and the slightly squalid. They call these places oases of peace, sanctuaries of serenity, and in a way they are. Section 3. Rise and wine, a monk's morning grind. The day in a Ladakhi monastery doesn't start. It explodes, usually around 4 a.m., with a gong, or a horn that sounds like a dying yak. Forget your gentle alarm clock melodies. This is a call to prayer that could wake the dead, and it probably has a few times. You stumble out of your surprisingly cold cot, joints creaking in protest, into the pre-dawn chill. The stars are still blazing in the ink-black sky, a cold, indifferent audience to your suffering. The air is biting, your breath plumes in front of you, and the monks? They're already up, scurrying about with an energy that seems frankly unnatural at this hour. First order of business chanting, lots of chanting, in a room filled with flickering butter lamps and the resonant hum of dozens of voices. It's hypnotic, it's repetitive, it's really, really long. You sit there cross-legged on a thin cushion, trying to look pious while your legs slowly lose all sensation. The guttural, rhythmic intonations wash over you. Sometimes it's beautiful, in a strange, otherworldly way. Other times you're just wondering if breakfast is included, and if it involves more chanting. Spoiler, it often does. This is their spiritual espresso shot, a daily dose of devotion to kickstart the soul. After the vocal warm-up, come the chores. This isn't a spa retreat, folks. Everyone pulls their weight, sweeping courtyards that seem to attract dust from other galaxies, fetching water from a distant icy stream, preparing food, maintaining the ancient structure which seems to be in a constant state of needing repair. There's a quiet dignity to it all, a sense of purpose, even if that purpose is scrubbing a pot that's seen better millennia. It's a far cry from a 9-to-5 desk job, that's for sure. No spreadsheets here, just endless tasks under the watchful eyes of ancient deities and stern senior monks. Section 4. Culinary Adventures in Celibacy, the Butter Tea Chronicles. Let's talk about the food, because, well, it's me. And food is important, even at 15,000 feet surrounded by celibate men in robes. The star of the monastic culinary show? Butter tea, pocha, sampa. The names vary, the experience less so. It's an acquired taste. A taste I'm not entirely sure I want to acquire. Imagine a salty, slightly rancid, lukewarm brew, churned with yak butter and tea leaves. It's less a beverage, more a survival ration, meant to provide energy and warmth in this harsh, unforgiving climate. And it probably does. If you can get past the initial shock to your palate. They drink it by the gallon. Morning, noon, and night, it's offered with a generous, welcoming smile. Refusing is not really an option. So you sip, you nod, you try to look appreciative, while a small part of your soul quietly weeps. The monks, of course, down it like it's the finest single malt. It's their Gatorade, their Red Bull, their lifeblood. Accompanying the tea is usually sample roasted barley flour. You mix it with the butter tea to form a kind of doughy, nutty paste. It's hearty, it's filling. It's also remarkably bland, unless you count the lingering aftertaste of, well, yak. Meals are simple, communal, often eaten in silence or with quiet conversation. Lentil soup, some flatbreads, maybe a few boiled potatoes if it's a feast day. Don't expect Michelin stars here. Section 5, Zen and the Art of Agonizing Boredom. Meditation. The cornerstone of monastic life. The path to enlightenment. Or, for the uninitiated like myself, the path to an incredibly sore backside and a mind that races like a caffeinated squirrel. They make it look so easy, sitting there still as statues for hours on end, eyes closed, a serene expression on their faces. Meanwhile, I'm fidgeting after 5 minutes, my nose itches, my legs asleep. I'm composing grocery lists in my head, wondering if anyone would notice if I just leaned against this pillar for a quick nap. This whole inner peace thing is harder than it looks. The idea is to empty your mind, to observe your thoughts without judgment, to find stillness amidst the chaos. Noble goals. Extremely difficult to achieve when your mind is a relentless content generation machine. Every random thought, every half-forgotten memory, every stupid song lyric decides to throw a party in your skull the moment you try to be quiet. It's like trying to hold water in a sieve. The monks, bless their patient souls, offer guidance. Breathe. Focus on your breath. Let the thoughts come and go. Easier said than done, my friend. Easier said than done. There are different kinds of meditation, of course. Walking meditation, chanting meditation, visualization, all designed to tame the monkey mind, as they call it. My monkey mind, however, seemed to be on a permanent espresso bender, armed with a megaphone, but slowly, very slowly, something shifts. Section 6. Saffron robes and surprising shenanigans. You might think a life of prayer, meditation, and celibacy would be, well, a bit dull. Devoid of humor, solemn to the extreme, and sometimes it is. There's a deep seriousness to their devotion, a palpable gravity. But then, you catch a glimpse of the human side, the unexpected quirks, the moments of levity that remind you these saffron-robed figures are, underneath it all, just people. People with personalities, senses of humor, and the occasional mischievous streak. It's these moments that crack the stoic facade and offer a peek into their real lives. I saw one young monk, no older than 16, expertly flicking pebbles at a dozing dog, a silent, giggling conspiracy shared with his equally young companion. When they caught me watching, they froze, then dissolved into embarrassed laughter. Another time, during a particularly long and droning ceremony, I saw an older monk subtly checking his ancient-looking mobile phone, hidden in the voluminous folds of his robe. The screen glowed briefly, illuminating a surprisingly modern game. Even enlightenment, it seems, can wait when you're about to beat your high score. Then there was the debate. Section 7. Enlightenment? Or just a good story for back home? So, after days of thin air, questionable tea, and attempting to silence the cacophony in my own head, did I find enlightenment? Did the secrets of the universe unfold before me in a blaze of spiritual glory? Let's be realistic. Probably not. What I found was a deep appreciation for a way of life so utterly different from my own. A respect for the dedication, the discipline, the sheer resilience of these men who choose a path of renunciation in a world obsessed with acquisition. It's a stark contrast and one that certainly makes you think. This whole experience, it's not for everyone. It's not a vacation. It's a challenge. It pushes you. Physically, mentally, maybe even spiritually if you're open to that sort of thing. Or if you've had enough butter tea to induce hallucinations, you go looking for something exotic, something authentic, and you find it, in spades. But authenticity isn't always comfortable. It's not always picturesque. Sometimes it's cold, and hard, and smells faintly of yak. That's the beauty of it. Or the horror, depending on your perspective, and perhaps your thread count preference for bed linens. Will spending a week in a remote Ladakh monastery change your life? Maybe, maybe not. It might just give you a killer anecdote for your next dinner party. Oh, this old thing? Just a prayer wheel I picked up while communing with monks at 15,000 feet. It might make you appreciate your hot showers and your comfortable bed a little more. It might even make you question what happiness or fulfillment really means. Or it might just give you a temporary reprieve from your Twitter feed, which, let's be honest, is probably a spiritual experience in itself. Ultimately, it's a journey. And like any good journey, it's less about the destination, whether that's a physical place or a state of mind, and more about what you encounter along the way. The people, the culture, the unexpected moments of connection or confusion, the sheer unadulterated weirdness of it all. Ladakh and its monks, they offer that in abundance.